Hey again everyone, and welcome back to another Plowbender's Custom Creations. So this is going to be a different kind of video because today I'll be showing two custom builds instead of just one. And those are, first off, my custom 1/64 scale stretched Kenworth w900 with 118-inch sleeper, and also my custom 1/64 scale stretched Peterbilt 379 with 96-inch sleeper. And if you look at these, you may be able to see why I'm featuring them both in the same Plowbender's Custom Creations video. And the trailers aren't so much custom as the trucks themselves. Those are going to be the main focus in this video, so I'll go ahead and show you here. So first up is going to be the w900 build, and this was a truck I built to replicate one that was in the game 18 Wheels of Steel Pedal to the Metal. And in the game they had a Kenworth w900 with a large sleeper like what you see here, except in the game I believe they referred to it as a Kinetic 9W9, probably because the creators of the game didn't want to pay for a license to use the Kenworth name, so they just came up with their own. But this truck started out as just your stock standard DCP truck. I'm not sure if it was a day cab or if it had a sleeper or how long the frame originally was. I just know that there was about 3 or 4 trucks that were cannibalized just to build this one. But to start off with, I had to stretch the truck out, and I bought a stretch kit from Rayover Custom Build Trucks, and it included the stuff to stretch the frame plus the sleeper. And if you look underneath here, you can see where I cut and extended the frame with brass, and also went ahead and lengthened the drive shaft, aluminum tubing there. Probably could have painted that, but I thought it looked good as is, so I just left it. And while I was doing that, I started work on the sleeper, and the sleeper is made of styrene. The only thing I did was I needed more of a steeper pitch to the front here, so I went in with the Dremel, cut the pitch I wanted, and patched it with styrene, and then a little bit of putty and sanding, primer, paint. And the paint I feel came close to, if not spot, well, I'm pretty sure it's not spot on with the color of the cab. It may be about 1 or 2 shades brighter, but I feel like it was pretty close. And once the paint was dry and everything was good, went ahead and secured the sleeper to the frame, and I believe I used screws. Just looking under there, might have used screws, possibility I used JB Weld. But once the sleeper was on, went ahead and added the decals, and these are actually peel and stick vinyl decals. Sleeper window and cabinet door on this side, and if I just turn it around here, same on the other side, and then one window the whole way across the top. The truck in the game had 2 separate windows, but this was the best I could do with what decals I had. And also added some grab handles on the side of the sleeper, as well as 2 on the back, and then also added some horns to the roof and a wing, and also a visor over the front window. And that was basically it for the sleeper. As for the rest of the truck, extra fuel tanks, steps, bigger steps at the back here, quarter fenders, mud flaps. I'm not sure if these were on the truck to begin with. Custom cut stainless steel deck plate. Very nice. And also added these stacks. These are not on the truck originally, and if you see there, they are Kenworth stacks. And if I remember right, the front bumper is also custom. Well, not custom, but it's off another truck. And unfortunately, this is Cummins powered. I would have preferred it to be cat powered. Kind of a cat guy. But I think that's really it for what was customized on this truck. I mean, truth be told, it really isn't a spot-on replica to what was in the game, but it's pretty close in my opinion, and I'm quite happy with that. Now, I did say that the trailers with these builds weren't custom, but in the case of the w900, I actually did put my own personal touch on this 53-footer, and I actually added custom decals to the back of the trailer, and you can see there got passing side suicide decals, and I thought those were pretty cool. And those are water slide decals, and I do have some extras if anyone's interested in some for themselves. Let you have them for a couple bucks. But yeah, that was basically all that was done with the trailer for the W900. And I think now we will go ahead and take a look at the 379 Peterbilt and show you what I did with that. Okay, moving on to the 379 build. This truck, aside from being a custom, was also somewhat of a resurrection because the original owner slash builder of this truck, to say the least, they did a very shoddy job on it. And I can actually show you what this looked like when I got it. And aside from the fact that the Postal Service basically destroyed the thing in transit, the truck it honestly looked like the person had brushed on, or more like gobbed on, gloss black paint on the cab. And on top of that, the frame, which may have been a die-cast kit that you buy and assemble yourself, it was poorly done. There was not a lot of detail to it. And just like the cab, apparently they gobbed on orange paint onto the frame. And it was just, overall, it was a terrible build. And then it had little accessories on it as well, but on top of that, you had super glue residue, fingerprints. It's just like, geez, what was this person thinking? And the cab was actually resin, and I'm thinking, just by the look of it and everything, I think it came from Stampin' Toys. And at the date of this video, looking at their website, I can't find this cab, but I can find similar ones, and they're about 25 bucks a pop. Some people, that probably doesn't sound too bad, but in my opinion, if you're going to pay that much money for a cab to do a custom, it's like, do it right. I mean, if you just do whatever that guy did, you're just throwing money away, in my opinion. But in the end, the truck, the only thing I salvaged from it was the cab. And basically, to start with, I had to get the old paint off, and I didn't know what kind of paint the person used, and I was not confident of just dunking the thing in lacquer thinner or gasoline, because this is a resin cab, and you don't know how the resin's going to react to that, gasoline or thinner or what have you. I have actually melted plastic models in thinner before, and I don't want a repeat of it. But I went the safe route and tried rubbing alcohol, leaving the cab soak in rubbing alcohol, and it sat for about a week. Leave it sit in for so long, take a little bit of paint off, put it back in, repeat, and I did get all the paint off, and after that was taken care of, I had to address issues with the cab. It was warped in several places. The front fenders were actually tilted upwards. There was warping along the sleeper, and also I think the driver's side of the cab was bad. And I don't know, I think that was possibly a reaction to the original paint that was on the truck. So it was pretty easy to rectify that. Just heated it over a stove top and carefully heated up the resin, bent it back into shape, and there you go. And after that, gave it a coat of primer, checked for any imperfections, which were corrected if there was any, and then a top coat of this red paint, which I thought looked very good. And once that was done, I had to start looking for a suitable frame for the truck, and I figured, hey, I'll go with the DCP frame. Got myself one off of a Peterbilt, and I wanted to give this a stretch job, so I went ahead and actually didn't get a stretch kit from Custom Build Trucks. I actually went out and bought the brass and aluminum myself and did the stretch, and you can see where it was done there, and it turned out pretty good. And once the frame was done, went ahead and mounted the cab on and started on detailing the cab. Basically painted on the horns and the cab lights, and also painted the visor here. Really what I could have done was just got rid of this and put a stainless steel visor on, but I think it looks pretty good either way. The air cleaners are the original ones that came with the truck. And another modification I can see I did here was the cab windows were originally closed. I took the Dremel, cut the glass out, and opened them up. And I like that a lot better. The interior was originally black, and I painted it gray. I just thought that looked better. And I can also see here, went ahead and painted these windows black on the top of the sleeper here. These ones on the side are the vinyl stickers like the W900 build had. And if I move it around to the other side here, you can see I got another one. Also painted the door handles and what have you. And custom DCP mirrors were added. Well, no, they're not custom, they're stock standard. But mirrors were added, and I customized these antennas, the CB antennas I built from scratch. They're made from paper clip and a little bit of aluminum tubing for the bit down here, and a little bit of paint on those. My friend Michael Johnson, he does some DCP builds. He actually makes these CB antennas out of those resistors that you use in electronic projects, and he says they look pretty good. I don't think they're too bad, but I just think they're maybe a little oversized. These look a little better in my opinion. But DCP wing on the top of the sleeper there, and also went ahead and got some stacks here and custom aluminum fuel tanks from Ray over at Custom Build Trucks, and he actually recommended these particular stacks to me because I showed him this custom. I told him, what stacks would you say look best on this, and he told me I'll go with the monster one, so that's what I did. And I can also see here I added a stainless steel deck plate on the back, and these fenders, the steps, and these tires came from another Peterbilt truck I bought just for those specific parts, and these toolboxes were left over from a trailer that I customized. And a little bit of detail around the bumper and the grill on this truck, and I think that's actually it. Don't think there's any other anything else I did to this truck, but yeah, it's definitely an improvement compared to what it was, and I'm definitely very happy to have this in my collection. It's just the story behind it and how I got it and what it looked like. It's definitely an improvement, and you can see that this truck I run with a 53-foot spread axle reefer trailer, and I don't think it looks too bad. So that's going to wrap up my look at these two builds, and like I said, these are two customs that I'm very proud of, really happy to have in my collection, and feel free to let me know what you think of these two trucks in the comment section below. But anyways, that's going to conclude this Plowbenders Custom Creations. I want to thank everyone for watching, and as always, keep on trucking.